Namaste. Namaste. Ayurveda and yoga together form an ideal system of total health, well-being, and self-realization for body, mind, and consciousness. Knowledge of Ayurveda is essential for yoga teachers for understanding how the body works, how the prana works, what is the nature of the individual constitution of both the body and the mind, and also connecting the Ayurvedic practices with the deeper yoga practices. And the deeper yoga practices are used in Ayurveda for treating the mind more specifically as the psychological aspect of the Ayurveda. And yoga itself is the application of Ayurveda at a higher level, so that it's not just a healing system for physical purposes, but that's a way of unfolding deeper mind, consciousness, bliss, well-being, and harmony. So the integration of yoga and Ayurveda brings out the complete healing potential of yoga and the complete spiritual potential of the Ayurveda. When we put the two systems together, we have an ideal treatment system for all aspects of health, well-being, happiness, lifestyle, and even the treatment of both physical and psychological disease. We have the ultimate counseling tool to help each individual in their daily life, in their work, in their relationships, in the integration of all aspects of their life into spirituality. So the integration of yoga and Ayurveda is a wonderful opportunity. It brings out the highest potential of Ayurveda and also the highest potential of yoga. It allows one to be a practical counselor on all levels of life, from food and diet, nutrition, to herbs, also to dealing with sensory therapies, aromas, colors, and also dealing with yoga therapies, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, mantra, meditation. It is the ultimate system for helping us reclaim our well-being in life, for freeing ourselves from dependency upon other people, on expensive medical paradigms, and also for helping us reintegrate into the greater world of nature. Ayurveda and yoga unfold all the healing powers of nature through the elements, the earth, the water, the plants, the sun, the moon, the stars, all the healing energies, and show us how to link up with the cosmic prana to help heal, transform, and energize our individual prana, and also help us connect to the divine healing presence that pervades all of nature, and help us understand how that divine healing presence and power can work inside of us as actually the deeper intelligence behind the body and mind, and give us the tools for accessing that in a practical way, bringing it into our daily lives, and also bring it as the foundations of our communities and our relationship with our environment, so that yoga and Ayurveda also form the ultimate ecological science for creating sustainable and optimizable health, well-being, and greater awareness that links our individual awareness with the greater earth consciousness and the greater cosmic consciousness that takes us beyond the earth to the higher spheres as well. Because yoga and Ayurveda share the science of consciousness. They teach us that whatever we do with awareness has a healing and transformative power. They also share the science of prana. Ayurveda shows us how to use prana as a healing force to treat the body, and yoga shows us how to use prana as a healing force to transform the mind and to open the awareness. And there is no aspect of health, healing, or well-being that yoga and Ayurveda do not cover. All aspects of environment, all aspects of the individual, all aspects of society are there. And so putting these two systems together, we have the foundation for transforming our world, transforming ourselves, having better lives, and doing so in a way that uplifts the prana and the consciousness for everyone. So participating in this program to study yoga and Ayurveda together is a great blessing, and it has many benefits. It also puts you in the forefront of this healing consciousness prana movement, yogic healing movement, which is growing daily, which is expanding throughout the world, and which allows us to bring all aspects of healing, even touch therapies, massage, applications of oils, that allows us to integrate all aspects of healing into a greater healing with awareness, helps us unfold the yoga of healing, which is not simply healing ourselves physically and emotionally, but also healing ourselves spiritually and also healing the planet as well. It has been my experience that whoever dedicates themselves to Ayurveda, Ayurveda will take care of them. And I would say whichever student, whoever you are, who takes this program, the yoga and Ayurveda will also take care of you. Your inner prana will awaken, your inner consciousness will awaken, and your ability to work with all the healing powers of nature will grow. Your life itself can be transformed. Your inner teacher, your inner counseling potential can grow. And you can learn how to bring this divine force, this divine presence that we call the higher self, that we call the Brahman, the divine, whatever name you want to call it. You will be able to bring that in your life and for the benefit of others, and set up a healing center that is not simply controlling people or making them pay a lot of money or treating short-term symptoms, simply alleviating pain, but that can be a center of expansion, a center of growth, a center of learning, a way of greater integration, a way of applying all the healing tools of life, nature, and consciousness for the benefit of all. So what you are participating in is a wonderful program that brings many blessings. It is also a foundation for deeper study. Once you have this background of yoga and Ayurveda, you can understand all aspects of yoga and Ayurveda better. You can understand all healing systems better. You can understand the body, mind, and consciousness better. And you can be in a position to then learn more specific therapies, as you may be inclined to specialize in certain areas, nutrition, herbs, body work. You may go into counseling. You may go into the yoga therapies. So it becomes a kind of seed therapy or mother learning that allows you to grow and develop and transform in so many ways.
What is the difference between yoga therapy and Ayurveda?
It's very interesting. Ayurveda is the traditional yogic system of medicine. Ayurveda allows us to apply all the tools of yoga in the context of a yogic medical system. Most of what people call yoga therapy today is adapting some technique of yoga, mainly the asanas, and applying them according to modern medicine or some other system of medicine that's not rooted in the yoga. And so it's not a system of medicine, it's a therapy. Now, what Ayurveda is a complete yogic system of medicine, so the diagnosis, all the treatment, the herbal, the nutritional recommendations, all are in harmony with the yoga. And so the Ayurveda is a yogic system of medicine, not just simply application of asanas or some other methods for healing purposes. Ayurveda comes from the same rishis and yogis who produced the yoga system. Even Patanjali himself was a famous Ayurvedic doctor. And we find that the Vedic rishis who gave us the Ayurveda, like the Bharadwaja and Vasishta, Vishwamitra, Vamadeva, these are also the great famous yogis, Advaitins, and even the Vedic astrologers. So Ayurveda is the healing gift of yoga for us. It is not a separate system. And what's happening today is a lot of people learn yoga, but they don't learn Ayurveda. And so what happens is when they want to use yoga for healing purposes, then they go to the existing medical paradigms, which are more structurally based or more drug-based. Whereas Ayurveda, like yoga, is based on prana, consciousness, an understanding of the panchakoshas or the five sheaths, an understanding of the total human being that includes the Purusha or the higher self and is not just simply truncated to the physical level. Sometimes I call modern medicine the medicine of the feet, because it's only looking at the physical body, which is the foot of the greater Purusha. Now, no matter how good your medicine is for treating the feet, it's not going to be as effective as a medicine for treating the whole body. So too, no matter how good your medicine is for treating only the physical body, the medicine that treats all aspects of our nature, all the koshas, all the bodies, and the deeper consciousness is going to be more effective. And that is the blessing that Ayurveda offers. But Ayurveda also needs to be applied with a yogic consciousness, a yogic awareness, and a yogic lifestyle to reflect its deeper yogic potential. And yoga needs to be practiced with an Ayurvedic lifestyle, Ayurvedic understanding of our constitution, Ayurvedic understanding of how prana works, or we find yoga gets applied mechanically or in mass or as a system of techniques or asanas rather than as a complete system of well-being, because for a complete system of well-being we also have to consider the food, the nutrition, not only the exercise, but all aspects of the lifestyle as well. So the Ayurveda gives us the foundation for deeper yoga practice, and yoga gives us the spiritual meaning and deeper application of the Ayurveda.
Do you think in countries that use Chinese medicine, like in Asia, in Vietnam, that use Chinese medicine,
yes,
do you think there's place for Ayurveda? Because now yoga movements have to be very important there.
Yes. Well, it's very interesting that there's a lot of connections between the Ayurveda and the traditional medicines of Asia. Ayurveda is the basis of 90% of the Tibetan medicine, and it's also the basis of the medicine in Sri Lanka. When we come to China and Japan, Ayurveda has a lot of connections and affinities also with the traditional Chinese medicine and the traditional Japanese medicine that comes out of it. But what Ayurveda does is it offers some additional things that are very helpful. One of the things Ayurveda adds to the traditional medicine is a more deeper and complete understanding of individual constitution. In the Chinese medicine, the emphasis is more on disease syndromes, which are more organ-based, like liver yin deficiency or spleen qi weakness, all of that, which are organ syndromes. The Ayurveda, with its understanding of Vata dosha, Pitta dosha, Kapha dosha, has the individual constitution more specifically defined. So this gives Ayurveda a greater importance in applying lifestyle therapies at an individual level, and these can also be adjusted or adapted relative to the organ syndromes and relative to the teachings. We also find a lot in common via the herbal medicine. The Chinese medicine uses a system of the five tastes, and the Ayurvedic medicine uses a system of the six tastes. I was also trained in the Chinese medicine as well as in the Ayurveda. And it's very interesting to note that the Ayurvedic system of the six taste works better for Chinese medicine than the Chinese system of the five taste. And I'll give you a simple example of that. In the Chinese medicine, the pungent or the spicy taste associates with the lungs and the metal element. In the Ayurvedic medicine, the pungent or the spicy taste associates with the fire and the air elements. And in Chinese medicine, all the herbs for increasing fire, increasing yang, and increasing heat are predominantly spicy or pungent in taste. So we have a lot of similarities. I think there's a lot of ground for communication, but I also think Ayurvedic constitutional model can be added to and help supplement the traditional Chinese medical model. And even in China you had the Buddhist medicine, and the Buddhist medicine also had a vegetarian paradigm, although not all, only a few Buddhists in China, of course, even today are vegetarian. But Ayurveda also has a lot of knowledge of vegetarianism, vegetarian cooking, application of tonic herbs, etc., relative to vegetarianism. And then we have a lot of common herbal factors between the systems, and we both have in the Ayurvedic system and the Chinese medical system the idea of tonic herbs, rejuvenative agents, or what are called rasayanas in Ayurveda, herbs for increasing primary powers like the chi, the yin or the yang, or what are called the ojas, tejas, and the prana in the Ayurveda. So there's a lot of grounds there, and a lot of, I think, enrichment can go on through a dialogue between these systems. And we see they occurred historically. We do find some traditional Indian herbs in the Chinese medical system and in the Ayurvedic system. And in traditional Chinese medicine, they have a distinction of phlegm diseases, fire diseases, and wind diseases. And this correlates very simply to kapha diseases, which are the phlegm, vata dosha disorder diseases, which are the wind, and the pitta diseases, which are the fire. So I think within the practicing natural healers in China and Japan, they'll also find a lot of value in Ayurveda and in the Ayurvedic medical theory and in its connection with the yoga system. Even the Tibetan medicine, as we say, is predominantly Ayurveda today, and the Indian Buddhist medicine was, of course, predominantly Ayurveda to begin with, so there are similar connections there that can be explored.
Do you think Ayurveda yoga is the way of the future? Do you think there's enough practitioners, enough healers?
Ayurveda is still something relatively new, and yoga as a more complete medical system or therapy, as opposed to just an exercise system, is also something still relatively new. We need more practitioners. We need more people to learn the system and apply the system, but there is tremendous interest in it. That is why I say when you join this system, it's like getting at the crest of a new wave. It will carry you forward. And we see the Ayurveda expanding all over the world. We were just in Brazil, and there's a major Ayurvedic movement in Brazil. They're also growing a lot of their own Ayurvedic plants there. Also, so the fact that Ayurveda and yoga are new, particularly in places like Vietnam or China or Japan, is not a bad thing for those who want to learn. It's a very good thing for them because it means that you as a practitioner will have students, you have plenty of area, ground, and room to expand. And even Vietnam, of course, has a Shaivite history. There is a heritage there that can also be brought up or restored or integrated into the modern context.
Can you speak a few words about the Shivananda yoga system and yoga and Ayurveda, how it helps?
Okay. Well, first of all, yoga has become more of a physical model as it's come into the modern world. But yoga is traditionally a body, prana, mind, consciousness approach, or what is normally called the Raja Yoga, or as we say also the Yoga Vedanta. Vedanta is the science of self-knowledge and self-realization, the philosophy of yoga. So Shivananda Yoga, or Shivananda Yoga Vedanta, preserves the broader spiritual and healing tradition of yoga. Beyond just the physical side, it also integrates the asanas and the physical practices, which have their importance and are very foundational in the application of yoga. And Swami Shivananda was one of the greatest and most highly respected yogis, philosophers, and thinkers of modern India. He's honored throughout the country, on all levels of the society, even from the politicians on down to the common man. So the Shivananda Yoga also provides the full breadth of yoga. It provides the integral aspect of yoga that's combining all aspects of our nature, having teachings for every aspect of our nature, Jnana Yoga for the mind, Bhakti Yoga for the emotional nature, Hatha Yoga for the physical and the pranic, Raja Yoga for the will, and also understanding applications of mantra, concentration, and meditation. So it's a much more complete system of yoga than the type of yoga people are normally exposed to. And it's also a system of yoga that is a teaching system, helping you learn these broader systems of knowledge rather than just simply passing on a few techniques or movements or exercise. So on that level, the Shivananda Yoga may be harder to learn, but it offers more. It gives you more in the long run, and it has training in teaching that allows you to be a real yoga teacher, which is someone who can understand the individual student and also help them apply all the necessary tools of yoga that they may need for their stage of life, for their temperament, for the conditions, the environment they are working with. I recommend all yoga teachers to take the Ayurveda and the yoga course, because without understanding Ayurveda, we do not understand how prana works in the body. We do not understand how the gunas affect the body. The body is not simply a physical or chemical or structural phenomenon. It is primarily a formation and movement of prana, and a movement of prana that's been based on the energization of the thought, the mind, and the awareness of the person. So even to understand the body from a yogic standpoint, you need the Ayurveda. And yet also, as yoga teachers, the Ayurveda helps you understand the constitution of the person. It also helps you understand the other aspects of healing. For example, asana is something you do with the body. But what you do with the body rests upon the nutrition you take in with the food. Ayurveda helps you understand the food. You can change how people exercise, but if you don't change the diet, the impurities and complications, difficulties in the bodies may remain. So Ayurveda gives us that deeper energetic understanding. Then also in yoga we have the science of the chakras and the subtle body. Ayurveda helps us understand these forces like the pranas that are working at that level as well, or what we call the ojas, the primary vital energy that grounds the physical body and creates the foundation for the subtle body. Through Ayurveda we can understand the terminology and the energies of deeper yoga practices, and this is also very important. And also, as a yoga teacher, if you understand Ayurveda, you know better how to apply your yoga teachings at an individual basis. So you're not simply confined to doing in-mass classes or even doing classes based upon the flexibility of the person only. You can make adjustments relative to the individual constitution, their particular lifestyle, and the energies working in their environment and even in their psychology. Yoga is primarily a sadhana system. I'm talking about classical yoga. That's why even Yoga Sutras is emphasizing the sadhana pada, or the practice. Sadhana is based upon inner practice towards self-realization. But Ayurveda is based upon healing of the body and mind. And Ayurveda is something that's also shared with non-yogis. You don't have to be a yogi, a monk, or a sannyasin to benefit from Ayurveda. Ayurveda is there for everybody. So Ayurveda has to have teachings that are relevant towards everyone and that can help us live our ordinary lives and achieve our ordinary goals of life. At the same time, Ayurveda considers that yoga is the ultimate means of healing, because spiritual suffering, which is the deepest and most primary suffering, is only alleviated through the practice of yoga. That's what Ayurveda teaches. Through Ayurveda, at a basic level, we can harmonize body and mind and deal with ordinary physical and psychological suffering, but that is only a foundation to take us into sadhana. So Ayurveda recommends sadhana for everyone, but also knows that not everybody is ready for sadhana. Even in Ayurveda, we may explain the different qualities of different types of meat for the people who may be taking those types of food, so they know that which type may be better for them relative to their constitution. Ayurveda has to be there for everyone, and so it has to have its adjustments relative to the different needs of people, and also help people move from the levels of tamas to rajas to sattva. And it's a by-stage process, so there's not a contradiction, but there is a difference between the yogic application of Ayurveda and its ordinary health application of Ayurveda. What we find out is very interesting is that once people learn how Ayurveda can be used to improve their ordinary health, it often opens them up to the spiritual practices and the practices of yoga as well. But we should allow them to discover that. And that is the beauty of Ayurveda, that will always lead people into deeper healing, even if we start them at a very simple level of watching certain foods in their diet.